It's making some encouraging noises. I've left this for a few minutes now. I'm just going to have a little look underneath the lid. Don't want it boiling over, so just if it's doing that, just turn the heat down a little bit. And you can actually pretty much tell with the fish when it's nearly done, because it starts to sort of peel away from the skin a little bit. Just going to get this fish. It doesn't matter that the fish is breaking up a bit, that's absolutely fine, because we're going to break it up anyway when it goes into the pie, so that's fine. We're just going to lay it there for a little while and allow it to cool. Take this onion out as well. There we go. That's a bit of fish there, just pop that on that side. And that's lovely. If you want to, and I might just do this, you can just drain this through a sieve. As you can see, that coal has come to a really nice colour, because that's going to be covered over as well. It's going to be really beautiful, bone in there already, so just watch out for them. We'll do that in a moment. So I've got these prawns here. I have given them a rinse. I've just put them back in the packet to stay in there for a little while. I'm just going to drain this milk off and do it into a jug and keep the milk. Do not throw this milk away. This milk is valuable to you. It's got all the flavour from that fish that will have seeped out into it, and also the onion. So just do it in the sink, and that way if you splash it, it doesn't all go in. It doesn't matter if you lose some. You can clean it up nice and quickly. There we go. Shake the potatoes regular intervals. They're not quite soft yet, almost there though. This is how we're going to make our white sauce. Now, if you haven't made a white sauce before, this is the easiest thing. It will save you money on buying pre-packet sauces. You can use it for things like macaroni cheese, cauliflower cheese, any kind of white sauce you can think of. White sauce on lasagna, anything like that is made with this same recipe. So, I'm doing it today. I normally do this by eye, but I actually weighed this today just so I would know exactly what to tell you. 40 grams of butter, right? We're just going to melt that. When it's all melted, lower it to a really low heat. And here, I've got 55 grams of flour. Just put that in. Now, I normally, like I said, I do this by eye, and I do that by slowly adding the flour. And when it starts to form, like this is now, to go all clumped together. Looks like you made a mess there, doesn't it? But you haven't made a mess. That's absolutely perfect. It's like a ball, right? Now, take this milk that you've saved over from the fish. It's got that fishy smell to it. Fantastic. Right. Pour a little bit of that in. And then you start to mix this. And as you mix it, it should sort of split up. Poke it, mix it, prod it a bit. Mush it round a bit. And it will start to split up like that. This was about 600 millilitres of milk when I put it in with the fish at the beginning. So it will have reduced down a bit. You might want to add a bit more milk. I've got some more full fat milk, lovely. Or you might want to add, like I'm going to, a little bit of creme fraiche, and that is just for another different flavour. You don't have to do this. You could add cream, you could add more milk. I've got my little hand whisk here. And I'm just going to go with this. And if you like, if you're starting to feel, you know, maybe it's not exactly the consistency you were looking for, just take it off the heat until you get it nice and smooth. There we go. That's coming together really nicely. Make sure there's no lumps in there, and it does smell really tasty. I've got here some reduced fat creme fraiche. Make sure you do that with a clean spoon. Look at that sauce. That is looking absolutely lovely. It's thick, it's creamy, it's looking really tasty. Just going to put another blob of that in. think this is coming to about the right consistency for my liking now. That's looking really good. Before you even start, taste this. Taste everything. Obviously not when it's raw, don't put a bit of raw fish in your mouth, but taste your sauce before you start adding the seasonings. And that has got a really nice flavour to it now already, because it's got in there the saltiness and the smokiness from the smoked haddock, which is a really nice flavour. So I just want to give it a little bit of spiciness with my pepper. And then I'm going to start adding, I'm going to add all of this. So this is chopped up gherkins, spring onions, chopped capers and fresh parsley. Use fresh parsley, it's better than dried parsley. So that is our sauce for our fish pie. And look, it's got all those bits in it. It's got the spring onion and it's got all those tasty bits in it. You could taste it. Now, you're not supposed to use the same spoon twice, but as it's me who's eating this pie and my friends, I don't think they're going to mind too much. That is really tasty. But I've got a little something I want to add today. This is anchovies. I love anchovies. It's one of my most guiltiest pleasures is eating a tin of anchovies. If you want a bit of a salty flavour in there, you can put a bit of salt in if you like. If you want a bit of a salty flavour with a hint of something else, an intensity of flavour, then try anchovies. Those potatoes are boiled. Great, so turn them off for a minute. In fact, what I'll do is I'll drain these potatoes first. And then I'm going to come back to the love of my life, which is anchovies. So, just drain these off into a sieve. Let them stand on the pan they cooked in for a little while. Just to drain. That'll be fine. Doesn't need to be hot when you mash it. In fact, it's probably better if it isn't. So just leave them to drain. So, back to the anchovies. They smell terrible. They're really salty, but they're amazing on pizzas, and that's how I first discovered them. If you add them to things like fish dishes, you won't regret it. The flavour's incredible. I'm only going to add like 3 anchovies. I'm going to chop them up really small, because I don't want people getting bits of anchovy. I want them to actually just get the flavour there of those anchovies. So that's good. So just stir those anchovies in. Starting to bubble. And that should be cooked through, so just turn that heat off now. Lovely. Smells really good. Take this dish that I gave a wash to earlier. Had the fish in that, if you remember. I can put this in the sink. So we take this and we're going to break up the fish. Now do it with your hands. There is no way out of doing this with your hands. It has to be done with your hands, because you're picking off the skin, which should come off quite easily. See that? There, so that's got no bone in. And the reason you do this with the hands, so you can detect all the bones with your fingertips. And that's one of the reasons that I let the fish cool for a little while, is so that it's not too hot. You can pop it in the fridge, but because it's only been out here for maybe 5 minutes, just cooling down on this plate ever so slightly, it should be alright, plus the fact that it's going to be cooked to really hot temperatures tomorrow, so any bacteria in it will die.